Hi, my name's Heather. Today I'm going to be doing a speech on attachment theory. So many of us wonder why we love the way we do or why we connect with others. And one theory behind that is called attachment theory. This has to do with different attachments and bonds we develop as we're younger, and then it kind of determines how our connections are when we're older. So by the end of this, you will understand the 4 attachment different styles there are, which is secure, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized. You also understand a little bit of history of it, why some are attracted to the other ones, and also how to kind of know which one you are, and then some ways to maybe heal and fix that or take more steps towards working towards that.
Alright, so I'm going to jump right into my PowerPoint, attachment theory. Sounds fancy, right? But it's really just about why we love and the way we do. It's not just who we fall for, it's how we love and how we handle space, texting, and even arguments. Basically, it's why some people chase connection and others disappear when things get real. We all know one of each. It started back in the 1950s with this guy named John Bowlby, who believed emotional bonds weren't optional. They were essential for survival. Kids who felt safe and cared for grew up more confident. Then in the 70s, Mary Ainsworth came along with something called the strange situation, which honestly sounds like a very awkward first date. She studied how babies reacted when their caregivers left and came back, and that's how we got the 4 attachment styles we still use today. So, here's a breakdown. We got secure, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized. Secure people are the calm ones. They communicate, they don't overthink, and they don't lose it when somebody doesn't text back right away. They're basically the emotional version of Wi-Fi that never disconnects. Anxious folks, they love hard, but they worry harder. They are the ones thinking, did I do something wrong? Even if everything's fine. They feel things deeply and they want reassurance. Avoidant types are the opposite. Super independent. Maybe too much. They tend to pull away when things get emotional. Like, oh no, feelings. And suddenly they're cleaning their car and reorganizing the pantry. And then there's disorganized. That's the mix of both. They want the love, but they are scared of it. And it's this consistent push and pull. So where does all this come from? Well, it starts when we're kids. If your caregivers were consistent and loving, that builds secure attachment. If they were hot and cold, sometimes there, sometimes not, then it's anxious. If they were distant or emotionally shut off, that's avoidant. And if you grew up around chaos or trauma, that can lead to disorganized, where love feels both comforting and dangerous. These patterns aren't who we are. They're just how we learn to stay safe. What we think versus what it looks like. Now, here's where people get it wrong. Everyone thinks that anxious attachment means clingy. It's not that. It's really just someone who feels emotions deeply and can't relax until they feel secure. They're not being needy. They just crave stability. And avoidant attachment, that's the most misunderstood one. People think avoidant folks don't care, but really they do. They just don't know how to show it without feeling exposed. They stay busy, keep things surface level, and convince themselves they're fine. Half smile, type of people. They're like, I'm good, really? While secretly overanalyzing every text. Disorganized is even trickier. It's wanting to be close but feeling terrified when it happens. It's the come here but don't get too close vibe, tug of war kind of thing. That often comes from trauma or mixed signals growing up. And then there's secure attachment, the goal. Secure people communicate clearly, trust easily, and don't need drama to feel connected. They're chill, honest. They don't play games. Basically, they're what we all would be if therapy was free. Now, one of the most interesting and painful combinations is when anxious and avoidant people end up together. These two are like magnets. The anxious one wants closeness, the avoidant one needs space, so the anxious person chases, the avoidant person pulls away. That's what we call the pursue-withdrawal cycle. It's like one person yelling, "Come closer," while the others yell, "Stop yelling." Both feel misunderstood and both end up frustrated. It's like the emotional version of one person running a marathon while the other's just trying to hide and target. But here's the truth. Neither one is wrong. They're just protecting themselves differently. The anxious person fears being left, and the avoidant person fears being trapped. Once they realize and recognize that, they can finally stop seeing each other as the problem and start meeting in the middle. The best part about all this, attachment styles aren't permanent. You can change them. You can move towards being secure by learning to notice your triggers, setting boundaries, and choosing people who communicate openly. It's about catching those old reactions and saying, okay, this isn't me anymore. Therapy helps, journaling helps, but honestly, awareness is the biggest step. When you understand why you do what you do, you stop being ruled by fear. You start choosing connection instead of chasing it or running from it. Understanding your attachment style can change everything. It helps you build better. It builds empathy and let go of old habits that keep you stuck. Your patterns aren't flaws. They're just stories you learned a long time ago. And once you understand them, you get to rewrite them. Because when you understand why you love the way you do, you can finally start loving in the way that feels calm, real, and safe. And that's the kind of love everyone deserves. Remember, it's not you, it's your attachment style. Please take a moment to look at my references at the end of this. I just think this is a great topic and it's something we can all benefit from learning. Thanks for listening to my PowerPoint. Please take a minute to look at my references. I have a lot of great things in there if you want to learn anything more. I just think this topic is such a great topic because it teaches us how we can have healthier relationships, and it applies to so many people. And it just has a lot of great benefits if we actually learn what type we are. Thanks for listening.